got it almost set?
It's going.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, they need a full body shot first. Just cut that whole cigarette thing, all right? Drink it.
All right.
Probably don't want them to see that. Good? You got
Yep.
me? All right, now come in close. Afternoon, my name's Kevin Murphy. Wanted to spend a couple minutes telling you why I think I'd be an ideal candidate for Survivor.
It's Unbreakable, not Survivor.
All right, we'll have to edit that out too. Sorry. Start again. All right, full body. Don't trip. All right. Afternoon, folks. My name's Kevin Murphy. I want to take a few minutes to tell you about myself, my background, why I think I'd be an ideal candidate for the show Unbreakable. College professor, I'm a therapist. I've been a therapist for 10 years. Been working in human services and social work for 16. I wanted to spend a few minutes telling you about my competitiveness and my ability to endure. Probably the most notable thing in terms of endurance, I've been with the same woman for 18 years, and if you met her, you would understand what my endurance levels are. Okay?
She's probably gonna see this. You'd probably
you're
not
right.
say that.
Cut that out too. Start over.
All right.
How are you, folks? My name's Kevin Murphy. I want to take a few minutes and tell you why I think I'd be an ideal candidate for Unbreakable. First, in terms of background, I'm 40 years old. Currently live in Elmira, New York, a small town of about 40,000 folks, located in upstate New York, about 2 hours south of Syracuse, right near the PA-New York border. By way of profession, I'm a college professor and a therapist, also a trainer and consultant. Presently have about 5 jobs, and I'm working on my doctorate. I'm about a little over halfway through my doctoral program in leadership. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes in terms of an endurance factor related to that. In terms of background athletically, really been involved in sports pretty much my whole life since middle school. Prior to middle school, I was a very large, very obese child, frankly. I'd suffered a fairly significant injury when I was in 2nd grade. I almost had my leg amputated, and I spent a lot of time recovering from that and eating a lot of Oreos. The end result being, by the time I was in 6th grade, I weighed 240 pounds, and I was about 5'4" or 5'5". Presently, I'm 6'5", 280 pounds. Coming out of 6th grade, I was pretty unhappy with my body composition, so I started working out pretty diligently. Within 2 years, I'd gotten down to about 140 pounds. Learned some valuable lessons, not only about how much further we can push ourselves physically, but about how important setting goals is and knowing that once you put your mind to something, you can accomplish anything that you really want to. That mindset has served me well ever since. I ended up making some decisions. I wanted to play sports in college at the Division I level, and I was able to accomplish that through high school, through sheer hard work and perseverance. Not real athletic in high school, just super work ethic, outworked everybody. Going to college, played Division I football until I got a career-ending back injury my junior year in college. Took about 10 years to recover from that. By that time, I was pretty out of shape. We're into my late 20s, early 30s, and I spent the past 10 years rebuilding myself to the point that I can do some pretty impressive things, I think. Probably the most noteworthy in recent memory, 2 summers ago, inspired by P90X, I started doing some moving push-ups. The original goal was to do them the length of the football field. Ended up doing a mile's worth of moving push-ups. You do a push-up, slide laterally in the lean rep position, do another push-up. Took me 6.5 hours to complete approximately. Couldn't really move for 2 weeks, but I did it. As of late, the past year or so, my workouts evolved into throwing a 50-pound ruck on my back, 30-pound weight vest, picking up a couple of 55-pound dumbbells, walking up my hill. So I don't really do a whole lot of gym training anymore. It's really more unorthodox, push yourself to the limit kind of thing. And I think that really provides a real sound physical base for me with this challenge. In terms of mental acuity, which I know is a big part of this, I got a bachelor's degree in psychology, got out of that with a 3.6 GPA. My master's degree in social work, got that back in 2001, graduated with a 3.83 GPA. As I referenced earlier, I'm currently halfway through my doctoral program of 3.9 GPA. So in terms of native or innate intelligence, I think I'm pretty strong there, as my academic record would demonstrate. As far as problem solving, outside of the box thinking, that's what I do every day as a therapist. I've been a therapist for 10 years, work primarily with trauma survivors, and it's all about problem solving. I do that day in and day out. See about 25 people a week combined between the several locations I work at. I'm feeling pretty confident there. In terms of competitiveness, Yeah, I like to compete primarily with myself. I really enjoy pushing myself. I'm not too tied into what other folks are doing. I'm not built for speed. This isn't a foot race, though, in the truest sense of the word in terms of a sprint. This is absolutely a marathon kind of mindset. I think I excel in those kind of events. I'm really all about endurance and strength and not working people. And by way of competition, I know when I got the email Thursday about moving on to the next stage of the casting, there's about 40 or 45 other potential racers, saw their email addresses, so I took the liberty of creating a fake Pilgrim Studio emailed all those folks telling them thanks for trying out, but we're going to move on with somebody else. So I'm all about winning by attrition when it comes down to it.
Yeah, that's probably illegal, not just
probably
against competition rules.
So we'll cut that one out too. I'm obviously kidding about that one, folks. We didn't do that. On a serious note, all joking aside, I think this would be a hoot. I think it'd be a great opportunity. I think it'd be very, very enjoyable. TV being a visual medium, I think I'd present well on TV. I'm 6'5", 280 pounds. That can go as high as 290 or as low as 275 in a given week based on what I choose to eat and how active I am. I think I got a lot of good strength, a lot of good endurance. I know that I'm supposed to speak to how my friends would describe me. I think I'm a pretty driven individual, teetering on workaholic, were I to be honest. Presently, in addition to doing my doctorate on the weekends, which encompasses a 3-hour drive down and back to where I'm going to school. I do that on the weekends. I also have 5 other professional positions, including the tenure track professor's position I'm in. I'm not afraid to work hard. I enjoy it. I thrive on it. And I think that's a big piece of what I'm bringing to this competition. I think my friends would also describe me having a fairly good sense of humor. Try to capture that a little bit in this video. The drinking and the smoking obviously was staged. I don't smoke. I only drink occasionally. That was my stab at creativity. I hope you appreciated it. Anything else I need to speak to, Nate?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. You being my nephew, you're what, 22, 21 at this point?
21.
Okay. I've known you your whole life. How would you describe me?
Incredibly hard worker and perfectionist.
Yeah, I think that's good. Anything else you would add? You've worked out with me. You've worked out with me for a few years. What would you describe there? You were there with me when we did the mile of push-ups.
That was pretty tough.
Yeah. Did you do that mile of push-ups?
No.
No, and I was, 38 at the time? And how old were you at that time?
19.
Okay, so a 38-year-old man outstripped a 19-year-old in terms of that. Is that what you're saying? And if I'm remembering this correctly, too, there was a couple other relatives, right? We had a couple other nephews, and they were dropping like flies, too, right?
One of them was a Marine, I think.
Yeah,
too.
One of them was a Marine. He only made a quarter mile. He only made 1 lap, and he opted out. Not in any way, shape, or form is that indicative of Marines. Not saying that. Long story short, I think this would be a lot of fun. I think it'd be fun to have on the show. I love working with people. That's what I do for a living. So, if there's any kind of team-based component to this, I certainly would do well there. I love working with folks individually. I love my own company. I'm very good at competing with myself, set my own goals, so I don't see that being an issue either. I'd love the opportunity to sit down face-to-face out in California with you folks, tell you a little bit more, get you a chance to know me more personally. We could go forward from there. If you have any questions, certainly feel free to call. Contact me via email. You got my information. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing what happens. Thank you.